Dennis Summit. I want to welcome our enviable president, Dr. Benjamin Wehe, to have his presentation. He's the president of the National Association of Private School Owners in Liberia. Over to you, Sam.
Let me say thank you and welcome to Liberia, Mr. Oluwakoyejo Oluwatosin. It is a pleasure seeing you here.
Thank you.
And let me also welcome all of those from West Africa, some of our colleagues, and of course, our school proprietors and principals in Liberia. We'd like to say welcome to all of you and welcome to Liberia Digital Learning Summit. This is the first of a series of interactions with school leaders intended to build on the experience of some of Africa's giants when it comes to innovations that will bring relief to the way in which we deliver teaching and learning in our classroom. We don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. All we need to do is to stand on the shoulders of giants who have succeeded in this regard. And so the ideas we are intending to present in this summit was consumed during the sidelines of the School Growth International Award. And I would like you to kind of go to the next slides. I want everyone to see that. Sorry for the hitches. We are doing technology, so my master control is all the way in Nigeria. So
very well. It's very well. That's cross-border technology.
Exactly. You don't have to be seated right close to me. Thank you so much. So like I said, the ideas presented here came as a result of a discussion held during the School Growth International Conference, recently held in Ibadan, Nigeria on February 23rd at the Lee City University, where I was awarded the African Education Legend Award for some of the contributions we've made so far in the education system. And it was on the sideline of that meeting that I met Mr. Oluwakoyejo Oluwatosin, the CEO of Chronicles Software, who is our guest lecturer and keynote speaker for today. I mean, can you imagine this fella, as big as he is, with the company he runs, became my cameraman. So you're going to see, quickly, let me just give you, you're going to see some of the photos. That's the African Education Legend Award. And that's the organizers, you know, and quickly, next please. You're going to see how we met. So one of the sidelines, he came over after taking some photos. All of the photos you see, he took them. And then we met and took a photo. That was our first time interacting. And immediately we began discussions regarding his company, which is in several countries in Africa. He's going to talk more about that, but his presence has not been felt in Liberia. And so this meeting specifically will present the ideas that he have about introducing digital technology in the classroom. And specifically the purpose of this summit is to introduce you to the latest technology in the classroom, which are trending across the continent and the world, and how we can leverage or domesticate this technology using our own socio-economic position, as well as our own school curricula for better learning outcomes. So for the next 15 minutes, we want you to kind of listen. You're going to see some best practices in education technology. Next slide, please. And that will cut across all of the areas that that you think technology coming to the classroom can bring: collaborative learning, small group online learning, and why it is true that technology comes in two forms. You know, you got the hardware, which he's going to talk about, but technology cut across. You know, nowadays in education, let me give a typical example. A teacher walking over to the classroom and his objective is to teach the 9 planets. Instead of the traditional way we do in Liberia, go and put this topic and start to write notes about the 9 planets, naming them one by one. A teacher can organize a small group of 9 students, or perhaps, I don't know whether the planets are still 9 or they are 8, whatever the case may be, of a group of 8 students, you know, assign a planet to each of them, assign the necessary technology so that they can brainstorm and bring up ideas about the characteristics of those planets and then do presentation. So the word has grown beyond our traditional learning that we usually do with teacher-centered to a more individual, a small group, collaborative learning and online learning and blended learning and so forth. So our keynote speaker is going to take us through how this is happening, you know, across the countries in which Chronicles Incorporated has worked, and give us the way in which we can incorporate this into our own system. So basically, this is just what I was talking about. Technology is not just about the hardware you see, the phone, the smartphone. It's about creative ideas, group presentation, and design, and the rest of it. So without wasting any further time, I'd like to say again, welcome to Liberia. This is one of my post-award projects intended to open up your minds into what is happening in some African countries, how are learning being done easily. I came with one of the tablets that I got from Mr. Oluwatosin, and it will amaze you to know that my daughter, who is taking WIAC this year, every evening I borrow it to her, and I just tell her to go to the WIAC question, and she will answer. From the beginning, she started answering, and the score were a little low. But as we go along, she's becoming familiar with questions, and the score is getting higher by the day. Imagine if I turn up that tablet over to her, which I'm not prepared to do right now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you so much. Mr. Oluwatosin, it's over to you. And may I quickly say that the media, this presentation is being covered by the Liberian Press. It's going to be on one of our radio stations doing the news. So we now listen to Mr. Oluwatosin, who will give his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the team in Liberia, led by your honorable leadership. Like you rightly said, my name is Oluwakwejo Oluwatosin, co-founder, CEO, Chronicles Software Development Company. We have, over the years, believed that the continent of Africa will take its rightful place in the community of continents across the globe. We know that if we fix education right in Africa, we will transform the continent for the greater good. Every continent and every nation and every citizen and every society will not develop higher than the highest level of education. And what do we call education today? Education is the inspiration, is the empowerment of the mind. So when the mind is empowered to think and to create, then there is an infinite possibilities that can happen to the individual. So why are we here? We are here because we as a company, we are committed to transforming and empowering the next generation to excel using innovative technologies. And it's all about the story that we bring to the party, the story of that every African child, every Liberian child, every Nigerian child, every Ghanaian child can acquire and access quality educational content in a very smart, in a very seamless manner. And that's why we introduced SuccessTAB. A SuccessTAB is a digital learning device that digitizes the entire nation's curriculum into a single device and makes it 100% offline. We are the only device right now in the continent that provides that kind of 100% offline capability. All devices, somewhere they want to connect to Google Classroom, they want to connect to the Teams, but we localize content so that at every period of the day, whether you have internet or you don't have internet, your child can still learn excellently, your child can still prepare adequately and go on to excel. Now, the SuccessTAB is designed not just to pass exams. The SuccessTAB is designed to provide all the resources required for a student to go on to succeed in the digital age. That's why it's called the SuccessTAB. So we provided you with loads of resources. Apart from educational resources, we have loads of content to be able to stimulate the child to think creatively and to solve problems. We have educational games to build the mind of the child. Then we have productive apps where the child can, connect to the outside world. They can do their Microsoft Word, do their Excel, do their PowerPoint, and all that. And the end game is this. We know that in our lifetime, 40 years plus, 30 years plus from now, if we collectively pool our resources together, we can take Africa from third world to first world. Thank you very much.
So we'd like to say thank you so much to Mr. Oluwatosin for his presentation. At this time, we would like to call the first section of just a minute break to have our media people to leave the hall, and then we go into serious business. Mr. Oluwatosin, is over to you in the meantime.
All right, thank you very much. Let me just do some interlude here as we'll wait to transition. Just a short interlude as we wait to transition.
Love learning. Love learning. love learning. Today is a day that we have waited for. The launch of the campaign, the one tablet for every child. Our goal is to give every Nigerian child another reason to aspire for greater heights by placing in their hands a device that will inspire them to excel. So what we did was we put all that the child needs to learn from GS1 to SS3 into the tablet. If your child picks up SuccessTAB today, we have 1,500 qualified educators waiting to guide your children and your children to excellence. Today is a day that we have waited for. The launch of the campaign, the one tablet for every child. Our goal is to give every Nigerian child another reason to aspire for greater heights by placing in their hands a device that will inspire them to excel. So what we did was we put all that the child needs to learn from GS1 to SS3 into the tablet. If your child picks up SuccessTAB today, we have 1,500 qualified educators waiting to guide your children and your children to excellence.
All right, thank you very much,
My job
Dr.
is to
Benjamin.
make college easier because students have a lot of fun now.
Our goal is to ensure that we continue to provide the necessary innovation to drive the collective good. And I'm seeing some comments on the comment box. We're going to take comments just after the short presentation. And anytime from now, we're going to kickstart, and we would ensure that we are making the most of the opportunities that we have. So once again, I want to thank our partners in the Liberian contingent. I want to thank Dr. Benjamin and his team over there in Liberia for ensuring that we have this particular program as scheduled. So without wasting much time, I would want to navigate to my presentation and share my screen, and so that we can go down to the business of the day. I'll be talking directly on the topic, straight up on the topic. And that is, just like we said, we'll be talking straight to the topic, providing empowering classrooms using innovative technology. And with that said, I will just want to share my screen in no distant time so that we can all preview this particular. So I'm doing that right now. So I'll run this presentation for just about a couple of minutes. And when we do, we will now be able to take questions and interaction. Our goal is to see that we are able to empower as many schools as possible to drive the classroom with innovative technology across schools in Liberia. Once again, my name is Oluwakojo Oluwatosin. Thank you very much for joining us. I co-founded Chronicles Software while I was in my final year in university. This year will be 15 years since we started, and we have transformed a whole lot of sectors in this country, and education is one sector that we have held very dear to our hearts. Just last year, in partnership with the Lagos State government, Lagos happens to be the commercial city of Nigeria. We were able to launch the largest digital classroom in Africa. And that classroom can take up to 10 million students concurrently, and it runs on a cloud service, leveraging on Amazon, the Success Cloud. So let me talk a little bit about, yes, we're going to just do an overview, a brief profile about myself, and unarguably one of Africa's finest minds in EdTech. How did we get here? We're going to chronicle the first to the fourth industrial revolution, and we'll just summarize it. And we're going to ask ourselves what the pandemic did to schooling. You see, it disrupted schooling and democratized education, and that's one of the reasons why we're having this chart. Then it's important for school owners to deploy the right technology to stay relevant. Devices, details, content, data, unified school solution. Then how do I get my school started? And do you know that this digital age is closing up? It's closing thanks to COVID. The connected age is almost here. Also, while some other countries are saying, oh, this is digital age, are you aware that the digital age is about wrapping up? Another kind of age is about to unfold. Anyway, let's start off. About myself, Oluwakwejo Oluwatosin, like I said. I started a company called Chronicles, a couple of friends, about 14 years ago. 27th of September this year will make it 15 years since we started. We started with zero capital, and we continue to innovate. We developed what we called the Universal Test Engine, which is a very viable computer-based testing app. 7 years before the institution that admits students into university in Nigeria went completely CBT. We developed the Unified Learning Platform 8 years before COVID. That was before COVID made LMS mainstream. And we brought tablets into the classroom 5 years before the pandemic with SuccessTAB. Aside technology, I'm passionate about people, and my desire is to inspire the next generation to excel. So let's start our conversation. From the first to the fourth industrial revolution summarized. The first industrial revolution, we saw what we called the birth of the water and steam powered mechanical manufacturing facilities. We talked about those particular engines that enable trains to move fast, and we saw the birth of steam engine, and that was that, and we saw the birth of lean manufacturing, mass market manufacturing, as the case may be. The second industrial revolution brought about the assembling plant, the assembly line, the infrastructure of electricity, gas, water, and the telegraph and the roads. Now, all this gave mankind a new lift, a new shift, and a new sense of opportunity. And in the third industrial revolution, that was the birth of the PCs. And we have not recovered from that third industrial revolution. That was where we had the personal computer, we had some other word processing solutions like the spreadsheets and Microsoft Word solutions and the likes. And why this is important is to dovetail to where we are. Now, this is the fourth industrial revolution. Now we have the mobile devices, we have the cloud, we have smart connected solutions, we have cyber physical systems, we have smart factories, we have robots that are trying to call the shots, smart customization, and we have product as a service, and different kind of possibilities in this age. Now, this fourth industrial revolution is where we currently are sitting in. Now, do you know that education has grown from these different pivotal times? And this is exactly where we are with, industrial revolution. Now, the fourth industrial revolution also brings a possibility that enables teaching and learning to grow. For instance, the third industrial revolution was the birth of the internet, which we call the information age. Information became viral. Information was a tool for transaction. Now, in the data age was the birth of mobile devices, smart mobile devices, high-level, high-speed communication from 3G to 4G, and now we have 5G. Now, you need to understand that the way education is being captured and the way education is being delivered has changed across generations, from the first to the fourth. So, but unfortunately, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and some schools are still teaching using the eighth and the platform of the second and the third industrial revolution. They're yet to shift. And if we keep at that level and say we don't have the resources, we don't have the funding, we will be shortchanging a generation. We'll be shortchanging a generation, because we have failed to equip them with all the resources that they need to become producers instead of consumers. Africa today, we do a lot of imports from different parts of the world, but technology in the fourth industrial revolution can give us a level playing field if we empower the next generation of students with the right kind of innovation in learning to enable them create rather than consume. All right, with that said, how did we get here? I just, did some analysis. Some of the things I said earlier, from the first, the second, and the third. The first industrial revolution used water and steam powered to mechanize production. So we had the steam engines, we had the locomotive trains, we had the steamships, and that eroded in 1765. Then we had the second industrial revolution that used electric power to create mass production. This was a birth of mass production, assembly line for cars, electricity, gas, telegraph, and that was crusaded in the 1870s. Then we had the third industrial revolution, the birth of the internet. This used electronics and information technology to automate production. And that you see electronics, consumer electronics, you have the PCs, the NC machines, we have apps, and these were all born in 1869. Now, with that said, how did we get here? The fourth industrial revolution is where we now need to put our eyes on. This is where we are as we speak right now. The fourth industrial revolution brings together computing, cloud, and smart devices to create a diverse ecosystem of solutions. So here we have the cloud, more like the abridged internet. Then we now have AI, that's artificial intelligence. Then we have connected devices. We have big data, we have robotics, and the such like. So what does this tell us? We need to be able to see how we deploy these solutions or aggregate these ecosystems to be able to provide the learning interaction, to boost learning outcomes, and provide the needed capacity for the next generation of students that we teach, and to become empowered with the right knowledge to be able to do amazing things in their days. So this is just a summary of where I was talking about all the time: mechanization, mass production, automation, new technology. Now the ideas is focused on new technologies. How then do we make sure that we deploy these technologies into the classroom? Now the pandemic came, and the pandemic helped us to be able to see things from a more heuristic point of view. So what the pandemic did was simple. Pandemic disrupted schooling. Schools were shut down globally for the first time in the history of mankind for 6 months. The implication was revenue loss for school owners. Schools with poor or no investment in technology were hit the most. Now, this is where I'm going to. Now, others now began to resort to, a very, very short-term, non-sustainable way to deploy technology. For instance, it was not bad anyway, but all of those were not sustainable in the long term. Now, things were WhatsApp for learning, voice notes for learning, but those that deployed technology at the right time with the right investment, they saw that they were able to provide the necessary infrastructure to sustain continuous learning when the schools were locked down. Technology-enabled learning became mainstream, and that's why we're having this conversation. Now, in fact, this platform we called Zoom entered mainstream, and the provider of this Zoom became a billionaire during COVID. Why? Because these were people that were able to see that the world was going to get to a point where this kind of interaction and visibility was going to happen in a very, very mainstream proportion. Now, where we are going to, it also democratized education. Premium learning resources for students and educators became accessible to everyone. We're very surprised that the almighty Harvard and Cambridge and everybody, they opened their learning resources for all the world to learn. So you begin to ask yourself, so what was the issue before now that these things couldn't happen? So this is just making us understand that we have the capacity through technology to provide a level playing ground for all students everywhere. Schooling, as we know it, will never be the same again. And that's why we are still here on this call. So let me continue so I can take questions. Yes. Now, deploying technology is irrelevant. Now, in this day and age, you need to provide tools to ensure that your students are learning with the right technology in the digital age. That's very important. We are no longer in technology, industry 3.0. We are now in industry 4.0. And it's not enough to deploy technologies. Very, very important to deploy the right technology and unify it in such a way that it brings value to all stakeholders. Now, what are the stakeholders? Number one, to parents, to the students, to educators, and of course, the school with the administrators. And to have all of this in sync, we all need to understand that one very innovative device that supports learning, in fact, designed exclusively for learning, is the SuccessTAB provided by Chronicles. As you can see therein, our SuccessTAB has it's a 10.1e device. It has 2 gig RAM, 32 gig storage. Of course, we can increase that, but the only downside is that as you increase these capacities, the price begins to go up, I mean, highly numerically high. Of course, we can also do a makeshift design that will also bring the cost lower, maybe 1 gig, 16 gig, as the case may be. Then also we need to understand that the digital library for SuccessTAB is robust. Our goal after this call is to digitize the entire Liberian content and curriculum and preload it in the SuccessTAB such that schools that are in Liberia can pick up the device and see their own content preloaded therein. Although the content that is therein is built in accordance with the WAEC curriculum, such that anybody in Anglophone West Africa can use it to practice for WAEC anywhere. Then also, it covers from junior school to senior school, like we said. It incorporates a standard CBT solution that gives access to about 20 years WAEC past questions with instant reports, with instant feedbacks. Now, the beauty of SuccessTAB also is that it has parental control so that it blocks unauthorized adult content by default without your firewalls. Now, this gives parents and schools rest of mind when using SuccessTAB in the classroom. Then another fantastic feature is that this works 100% offline. That means if you need to access any of these educational resources, it works 100% offline. Can it connect to the internet? Of course, yes. The device can connect perfectly to the internet, whereby students can do collaborative assessment. They can take a school CBT, and you know, they can do research works, and a whole lot of other possibilities happens in that space. So that is SuccessTAB at a glance. Let's move on. We also have amazing solutions. Now, what we also did was we have SuccessBox, we have the Unified Learning Platform. Now, the Unified Learning Platform has an LMS, it has a CBT, you can do a live class, you have analytics, and you have a school management system. So if you need a school management system all in one place, we have that solution. So if you put your Unified Learning Platform plus your SuccessBox, we have been able to design everything into a SuccessTAB. So in one device, you have the SuccessBox, your rich learning resources, then you can connect to our Unified Learning Platform, our cloud system, to provide your school all the rich, robust infrastructure it needs to drive learning. So that if perhaps, you know, you need to give weekend assignments, you can mark it over the internet. And if you want to do, you want to bring students into your school, that's enrollment, as the case may be. All of this particular solution is already embedded. Then if you want a school management system also, We have partners that can provide that. So all of these things together gives your school the necessary edge to be able to play very strongly in this space of educational technology, empowering the classroom using technology. All right, so with that said, we move on. These are some of the amazing features of SuccessBox. SuccessBox is that particular tool that Dr. Benjamin was talking about that the daughter is using. It has a speed test, a random test. You know, it has a simulator. You have your smart reader as well. You have a very huge wide pass question bank to enable and to ensure that students are learning and they're seeing their feedbacks and they're using that feedback to gauge assessment, and they're able to do amazing things. You can check up successbox.net in that URL and for further conversation. This is just how unified learning platform looks like. Enables your school to set up a virtual school in minutes. It has your assignment schedule, grade easily, generate report cards. All of this, all infused into what we call our success box. SuccessTAB today. So when you do the landing page of SuccessBox, this is exactly what you see. Now to the main thing while we are here. This is the device. The device brings the box and the ULearn into one place. So with one device, you can access the SuccessBox and also engage the unified learning platform and other learning resources. As you can see, SuccessTAB has 5 fingers: the online classroom, the digital library, the social connect, the edu games, and the productive apps. The online classrooms enable you to have online classroom interaction in the classroom. With the online classroom, you can access Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams, and all other variation of solutions. The digital library is where those textbooks are, those legendary books are, that enables you have all the curriculum in one place, digitized and 100% offline. The social media connect is where students can engage socially, but we put a particular solution here that is called the social media timeout. It times out social media every 2 hours in a day so that the students are not addicted to social media. Educational games is designed to build the students' capacity in their minds so that they can think creatively, think innovatively, and go on to do, very, very amazing things. Productive apps enable them to integrate PowerPoint. Yeah, enables them to integrate PowerPoint and Microsoft Word, Excel into their learning. So with the SuccessTAB, you do not need a laptop. It does everything that a laptop needs to do. Now, currently, you can even code with SuccessTAB. With SuccessTAB, you can build amazing websites using HTML5 and JavaScript. With SuccessTAB, you can develop mobile apps that you can push to Play Store so that you're giving your students 21st century learning capabilities. Now, our goal after this is to see how we can deploy these devices to your school and continue to support you in the learning curve. Now, having said that, we now begin to proceed. So this is exactly what the device looks like and the functionality at a glance. And if you continue, you begin to see how we can go on with you. So this is a summary. Make sure you give your school the digital advantage, and we are here to guide you and to support you through that process. Our goal is to ensure that adopting technology is not just a nice to have for your school, but a need to have. And the need to deploy smart devices, connected systems, virtual learning environment is no longer luxury, but an important need for any 21st century school. Then also, what we have done, like I said, we have put everything in one place: your SuccessBox, your smart reader, and your ULearn unified learning platform. They are now all in one place called the SuccessTAB. And from there, you can go on to inspire learning, boost teacher productivity, increase learning outcomes, make your students acquire 21st century skills, and put necessary digital skills in their hands for them to go and do amazing things in that generation. So this is exactly what we will just do. We're going to demo SuccessTAB briefly so that you're going to see the product firsthand. So let me start by see if we can watch this video quickly.
Hello to everyone. This is an opportunity to present to you the SuccessTAB, owned by Chronicles Software Development Company. The SuccessTAB is a digital learning device developed to bring technology into education.
I want to see how to make it
fun,
full screen
and exciting, and to make the younger generations better researchers and divergent thinkers. Now, straight to the point, the SuccessTAB has 5 major components, as you can see on the screen. It has the online classroom, it has a digital library, it has a social connect, it has the edu games, and it has product apps. So we're going to run through these 5 components. Hello to everyone. This is
okay, so let me make it a bigger screen. Let me stop sharing the presentation. Let me go straight to the Zoom call so that we can see this quickly. And yes, let me go straight to. Okay, I'd like us to see this very quickly so that we can just do a short demo and we can take it from there. So
local.
I want to share the screen again so that we'll just see a demo from that video playing. I'll just do that for 2 minutes so that we can continue again.
Curriculum. So we have for the junior secondary, we have for the senior secondary, all tailored according to the scheme of work for schools. So you have for JS1, all the textbooks embedded in here, offline, no internet needed here. We have for JS2, and we have for JS3 for the junior classes. We can pick any subject, so JS1, it's a basic technology. And of course, when we do this, you see the scheme of work, we can pick workshop safety and rules and regulations, and then the child can actually go through this. And at the end of each, you see an evaluation, you see reading assignment, you see the weekend assignment, and then the theory questions to test the understanding of the child after he's gone through that reading, that session. So we have all these embedded in the digital library. Now the social connect, of course, like we said, it's going to help kids learn in a fun-like manner, right? And then it's going to be interesting and exciting. Now we have the WhatsApp, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. Beautiful. And then we made it in such a way that this doesn't contradict the purpose why the device was actually made, for learning, but making it interesting, not addiction to something else outside learning. So we configured in such a way that after 2 hours every day, these times off by itself automatically. Once it's 2 hours by itself, it's turned off by itself. Not a device, but this particular social network although turns off. 2 hours every day is what's given to the child. Now we have the games, learning, you have called rope, you have the jokes, you have physics quiz, you have the Sudoku, you have words and the likes, like the periodic table, a very nice 3D way of learning the periodic table. That's the elements of the world: hydrogen, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. You'll see the display, and each of these can give you full details about each element. As you can see, it's coming up. You can actually increase it a bit, and then you can turn it if you want, and making it fun for the child to see. Okay, so this is C. What is C? Carbon is non-metal, 12.0 in terms of atomic number. We want to see what it's all about. And then we say it's non-metal, belongs to the block P of the periodic table, and then discovered by Egyptians and Sumerians. And it's all listed there. From here, you can see how 4 electrons for those who are science driven, 4 electrons in the outer shell and then 2 in the inner shell. This is what the kids are exposed to learn more, even though it's in form of a game, learning in form of a game. So with that, sure that yes, these kids can get the best.
Yeah, so back to what we're saying all the time. So yes, as we were saying, we get to the point whereby we got everything properly sorted. Did that, we were able to run this short presentation. This is actually coming from the YouTube page of Chronicles software. And what we're going to do is we're going to ensure that we send the link so that every one of us can begin to look at it. So permit me to stop sharing at this point in time. Very soon, we're going to take your questions. We're still on the demo site. If you have questions, you can be putting the questions into the chat box such that we can take your questions as we go on later. So yes, so having said this, we are still trying to demo the product. I just showed you a video. So let me try and do an on-screen demo of the product so that we can appreciate some of the features we just showed you on the screen. I want to move on to see the product at different levels and see how well we can provide. Yes. Can you help us mute your mic? Yes, thank you very much, so that we can have sync everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to enter into another device. That device is the SuccessTAB itself. And I want to be able to create home screen capabilities where we can share our screen and we can see how it works at that level. So if you notice, I'm juggling between 2 screens, and I've made okay. So the next thing for us now is yes. The next thing for us now is for me to share my screen, and when I do, I will be able to run through that capacity with every one of us at that level. So once again, I want to thank you all for showing. Yes, I want to share now. So I want to be able to share my screen. Start now. All right, so as you can see, this is SuccessTAB. Now I'm doing a demo from the SuccessTAB device itself so that we can all see how it looks like. While we are doing that demo, I will show you the device so that you can see it. This is SuccessTAB, a tablet in my hand. And this is it. I'm moving from one screen to another. It has a keyboard. It has a keyboard. And it has a leather case. And all of these things put together makes it SuccessTAB. So let me just quickly run through the device for you on the screen. So now I've moved from my laptop. I'm now doing what we call this demo on SuccessTAB. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So if you notice this, just to let you know that SuccessTAB has the capability to run Zoom very seamlessly. So I go to the online classroom. As you can see, it's changing from your various screens as well. These are the components of SuccessTAB. You have ULesson there. We're in partnership with ULesson. And yes, and if their colleagues on the call, I can get them to join the call for this particular production. And this, yeah, you have access to Khan Academy. You have access to Google Classroom. Your students can do the timetable rescheduling on the platform and a whole lot of possibilities therein. Then you have the data library. Data library, here you have your purple browser. If your students try to go on into unauthorized sites, it blocks them directly. This are safe. I can see it's safe browser. If they try to go into any adult content, it shuts them down completely. Yes, please, we need you know, some tech. Yes, thank you very much. Then I talked about Microsoft Office. From SuccessTAB, you can do a whole lot of stuff. You can do Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. You ask you what kind of, as you can see, this is what I use in my office consistently. This is my own device. I don't use a laptop. I've not used a laptop for the past 4 years. So your teachers, school administrators can also use this device as well to do, you know, their part of other things that they want to do. So I want to do Microsoft Word. I can do Excel, as you can see. I can do PowerPoint. I can do forms. I can take voice notes. I can scan. I can take notes. So students can take notes in the classroom. They can record when a teaching is going on. And with SuccessTAB, what happens, they can do Microsoft Word, I mean, of course. So it's asking you, do you want to create a blank document or do you want to create from a template? Let's say blank document, for instance. And here you have your blank document trying to load. And when it loads, you will be, the student can begin to, you know, do a proper Microsoft Word document. As you can see, here we are. This is it. Hello. And I can save and do all that. So got it. So here we are. Let's move on to other things on SuccessTAB. So from here, I can go straight up. I talked about, so we have a data library, like we mentioned earlier, and that's one of the fantastic part of the, it's launched by the Smart Reader. So all junior school content preloaded, you get, this is designed according to the WIRE curriculum, where your students can, I mean, the topics are usually the same thing, but it can differ from country to country. But we are glad to harmonize the one that is for Liberia per se. So we're in partnership with the Association of Private School Owners. By the time we get the content, you'll be able to see something like this for the Liberian curriculum in it. But what you have here works for any school across Anglophone West Africa. And yes, so for instance, you click mathematics for junior secondary 1. And when you come here, you see the topics broken down. First, week 1 is usually revision, week 2, whole numbers, place value, week 3, week 4. All this is running offline, completely offline. You don't need internet access to access them. Week 5, ordering, fractions, percentage, week 6, you know, like that, like that, like that. It goes on to the second term. As you can see, second term, the scheme of work with details. Now let's even go into one of those topics, and let's see the depth of work that has been done in those topics here. Okay, sorry, let me go back again. I click on whole numbers. And you can see it begins to detail the content. So the child can pick up the tablets. Teachers stand in classroom, making learning very, very easy and digestible. So what this does is that we simplify the content, making the child understand it clearly with worked examples, from worked examples to work solutions, to evaluations. So now we move on to common multiples. It defines it, it gives examples like that, with clear workings, and it details it to the very last. We move on to the least common multiples, the LCM, and like that. It begins to break down from a question to the solution, to the workings, how it is being done so that the child can master the content and making sure that learning is happening in a very interactive style. So having said that, we talk about, you click on the home screen, the house screen, to go back to the home page. And these are all other subjects. We have business studies, basic technology, agric science, civil education, and the list goes on and on and on. But you also know that we have that for senior school as well. That's junior school, and this is senior school. That's what you call your high school. Sorry, I might need to mute some people. Thank you very much, because I need the required clarity. So this is the high school mode. As you can see, senior secondary 1, you have your chemistry, your physics, your biology, and all that subjects already preloaded here. And let me click on biology 2, for instance. Biology 2, you break it down, you see different topics. Let's just go quickly. Digestive system. It gives you detailed analysis, a link to a YouTube video where you can watch details, summarize contents very, very clearly, making sure that you understand that content very well. It gives you analyzed 3D diagrams. Yes, that helps to simulate, the understanding of that concept. All right, thank you very much. So this is exactly, and also there are objective tests to test the child's knowledge. There's weekend assignments to ensure that the child is learning as it is required. All right, so this is the SuccessTAB. Let me move on to the other synopsis of it. Then you have what we already talked about, the CBT side. CBT to practice WAEC, success box. From there, you choose subject, you choose a whole lot of possibilities here and then, and then we continue to move forward. So you want to take a test, you click on take a test. A standard test, for instance, you pick a subject. These are the subjects preloaded here about the core subjects anyway. I like doing maths because everybody does mathematics. You choose a question set, and then you choose a duration, and you now click on start test. Then the test starts. You look at the questions therein, you look at the answers, you select the correct option, go to the next page, select the options, go to the next, select, like that. Sorry, I'm not really answering the question, I'm just taking the necessary note. Then if there's an image, you click the image to enlarge the image, you look at the image to answer the questions correctly, and you do the needful, you go next. And when you are done, you click end exam, it asks you, do you want to end the exam? All this is happening offline, you don't need internet to access the question. So in all that I did, I scored 4%. I was just, it gives me an analysis. I see the analysis. From there, I can do a review. The review tells me the different questions, the answer. It tells me my selection, then say explain. Then gives me an explanation of what is going on there. And I can close the explanation, return to the result page, or I can go back to the home screen, or I can go back and take another test. Now, all this, we have a 20 years past question bank for WAEC preloaded on the SuccessTAB. So this is one beautiful resource used in over 5 countries as we speak right now. We have a user in South Africa, we have in Ghana, we have in Sierra Leone, of course, now in Liberia, and we intend that number will continue to grow as the day continues to expand. So also we talk about social connect. Let me just rush through this part where they can just see social media at a glance, but social media is cut off after every 2 hours. Then we have educational games. If you look at this game site of educational games, it's designed to produce and build the mind of the child in a very, very, in a very, very stable manner. They can play chess, they can, do physics quiz, they can do math quiz, and a whole lot of possibilities happens at this level. So that is educational games for you. There's physics quiz, there's math quiz, there's Scrabble, there's Sukudo, there's word game, things that will build the mind of the child. And finally, there's productive apps you get. Then we also provided some locks, as you can see. I'm trying to go to File Manager. This is to ensure that your students cannot bring in unauthorized content into the classroom. I'm going to File Manager. I click to File Manager. It says I need to provide a code. After you register SuccessTAB, it sends you a 5-digit code. And it's that code that you can put here to be able to access File Manager. For instance, also, I want to go to Play Store. If you click on Play Store, students cannot access Play Store except the school, because the school has the smart lock code. Now, here, this is to ensure that this child is not downloading unauthorized content into the device. So as you can see, your children can do robotics, they can do sites in VR, they can do solo learn. Solo learn is where they can, learn how to do HTML5 and JavaScript, where they can create beautiful websites and all that. So that's all about that. Then this is where you put the smart lock control. The name of the student or name of the school is on the device when the device is being acquired. Once again, I want to say that it's been very exciting doing this. I want to begin to sign off from the school where I'm sharing and begin to go to the other part of the presentation. So let me do stop sharing here, and let me hand back control to other. Yes. Okay, so let me do other controls back. Yes. Let me make him host again, and so that we can continue to other parts of the presentation. If you have other questions, please do well to let us know your questions on the chat box. We will be going to questions anytime from now. I'm about wrapping up my presentation as I share the last 3 slides of my presentation as we proceed in that regard. All right, so yes, let me just do last sharing. Okay, I can close this. I can escape. I'll do this quickly. Now we have seen that particular aspect. The next thing is to see the other part of the slide, empowering classrooms. And yeah, we're at the demo side where we clicked that out. So we're going back to just wrap up. So we have demoed the products extensively. And the next thing is to, yes, like I told us earlier that the digital age is closing up. Many believe that COVID-19 has come to fast track the digital age. It is actually came to evolve it into the next age. The connected age is here. Are you ready? And is your school prepared? We are moving very, 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 very forward. As I close, the future belongs to those who can see tomorrow and they are ready to take and stake all that they have to create the tomorrow that they see. Our goal as a company is to partner and to see how we can, drive innovative technology to schools in Liberia so that we can empower the citizens and the students and the entire education ecosystem to driving education to the next level. As we look forward to a fantastic partnership, I want to say thank you very much to everybody that's been on this call. Thank you for taking your time to be here. We are grateful. We don't take this for granted. Our goal is by the time we are in Liberia before the end of the year, we should be partnering in a wider dimensions. We are saying that we are even available to work with your school about now to see that we can deploy these particular products to your school in no distant time. So please take advantage of SuccessTAB and give your school the needed necessary boost. As I close, once again, I want to reiterate, this is who I am, Oluwakwejo Oluwatosin. Stay in touch. This is my details, and this is my email address. This is my phone number. Thank you very much for paying attention to this particular short conversations. Please do well to post your questions so that we can take the conversation to the next level. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Benjamin. Yes.
Wow. So usually I wish we were in a hall and we were going to give you a standing ovation for this brilliant presentation. I have my tablet here with me, and when you are presenting, since I brought it, I have not even known some of the features, and then while you were going through the lessons, I started to go through to see that this tablet is indeed a reservoir of knowledge. Thank you again. The essence we said from the beginning of this presentation is to open up our minds about what is happening in sub-Saharan Africa. I know there are too many questions running down your mind right now. How much is SuccessTAB? How can a school acquire this? And that is where we are moving. As president of the National Principal Association and the National Association of Private School Owners, my dream is definitely to see how SuccessTAB can come to Liberia, and if we cannot penetrate the entire education system, which is almost impossible in even Nigeria and Ghana, we can begin from somewhere. 10 schools, 15 schools can come together and say, look, let's put this in the hands of all of our 12 graders, or let's put it in the hands of all of our 9th graders, because as you saw, the tablet itself is so educative that even if a teacher possesses that tablet, you don't even need a lesson plan. You don't need to do a lesson plan. You just click on your week, and then you know your lesson. And just imagine if that tablet is in the hands of 12 graders. You just direct them to go to a particular week, a particular lesson, a particular book, and you start to teach directly from there. And so at this point, I will begin with the questions so that understanding the Liberian peculiar situations, unlike Ghana and Nigeria that are technology driven, we are a little bit, and I must be sincere with that, a little bit back when it comes to the infiltration of technology. So we are glad that you're coming into this process. We want you to be patient with us, even if it is 5 schools agreeing between now and December, because our academic calendar should be open in November, December as it stands. If we even have 5 schools signing up for SuccessTAB, to even say we want about 50 of these tablets, 100 of these tablets, that will be your beginning point. And so to all of our proprietors listening, I want to believe the best question that we want to ask first is, how much is SuccessTAB? And considering the price that you have in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa, can SuccessTAB be customized? In other words, because this tablet is almost like a Samsung, and the quality of it, the durability of it, but can it be customized to have grades? In other words, if the SuccessTAB costs, for example, $150, can there be another edition of the SuccessTAB that will have the same software and materials built in, like the curriculum, the exam, the WIAC exam, but in a little cheaper way, so that our schools can be able to afford, so I'm talking about the grading of the SuccessTAB, so that you have the lower grade that many schools will afford or many students will afford, and then the upper grade. That is my first question. And maybe as we go along with this critical question, other people will have questions to ask into the message box or ask directly. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, we have.
Can I just come in briefly?
Oh,
so,
yes.
I would like to make a recommendation whether we can just have like a couple of questions and you jot them down, then respond.
Yes. Can we have your name? Can we have your name, please?
My name is Evelyn Father Sikwi.
All right.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay.
So let's take a couple of questions,
Mhm.
and then our speaker will come in. So my question was, how much is SuccessTAB as it stands, and if it can be scaled down to contain the same materials, but on a cheaper rate, even though I don't know the price right now.
All right, let me respond to that question quickly because that's a very important question. The price question is a very important question. So as we speak, the version of SuccessTAB you have in your hand, that is the SuccessTAB Pro Slate. SuccessTAB Pro Slate goes for $199 USD, 199 USD. That is SuccessTAB Pro Slate. And this as a function of, price variations from the last time we met till now and like that. So 199. But when we have a bulk order, of course, there's considerably discount for bulk orders. So, but the unit price is 199 USD. That's 199 USD. Yes, for one SuccessTAB. Then we have a lower version. The lowest, we can get an 8-inch device. So the one you have is 10.1 inch. So, and that is 2 gig, 32 gig SuccessTAB Pro Slate, 199. Then we have the SuccessTAB Smart Slate. The SuccessTAB Smart Slate, that goes for 149, 8-inch, 149. That's unit price, 149. Then we now have a much higher version. That's the SuccessTAB Elite. The SuccessTAB Elite, that goes for 299. So 299. So those are the 3 different versions that we have for SuccessTAB. So I think that the one of interest here will be for the 199 and the 145. Yes, so those are the 2 devices that, but these are unit prices. But when we are talking about bulk orders in a good range from 1,000 and above, when if a group of schools come together, the discount is very, very exciting, and it can really, really go down. So our goal is to see how we can collaborate with the union and pull 15, 20 schools together. If 20 schools are doing 50 pieces each, that's about 1,000 pieces. And if you put that together, the price drops, considerably. Yes.
So I would like to get an example. I like transparency. There are about 18 persons currently on this platform, and this platform will be shared. I spoke with a lot of school owners. This platform will be shared with them. Today is Fast and Pro in Liberia. Most of these school owners are pastors and reverends, and so they might be attending service. That's why you don't see some of them that I spoke to here. So I want us to be direct. When you say above 1,000, there can be a considerable discount. Can you give us a range of that discount?
That discount would, okay, so I'm with my calculator right now so that I know, so that because it's good that we are consistent across board. So I know that we can do as high as between 10 to 15% discount with that kind of order. Yes, we can do between 10 to 15% discount. And if it gets to 5,000 or 5,000 pieces, then we are looking at 20% discount. Yes.
It should be 20 to 25. You have to be parallel. You said 10 to 15 first.
Yes.
And then,
at that level, you can't really play with discounts again as you go on. So you just fix it. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Other questions, other concerns? Someone was saying they are not a school owner, they are a parent, and they want to see if they can have a SuccessTAB like I have, like anyone can have, you see. So how do you think we can get this success? How easy can we get like 20 pieces of SuccessTAB to Liberia? Just in case after this conversation, some of those listening who have children at home who want to buy one SuccessTAB to have it at home for their children to practice, like I'm doing with my daughter. You know, I'm not giving it to her, but she come home, she take the exam, she take the test, and I use it as my laptop also. How can we get that? How easy can we get that to Liberia?
All right. So if we do, it's possible to get it across to Liberia. So if we do a device less than 100 pieces, then the association has to pay for the shipment. But if it's 100 pieces and above, then we will ship it to you at no cost. So that is where, so if we're taking 10, 25, 30, 40, I mean, and the shipping costs can be quite, you know, so to ensure that we can work with the association, get a bundle of 100 pieces for those that need and spread across like that. So it comes with free shipping, so you don't need to pay for that. But if it's less than 100, then I'm sure that we can talk about how best you want it to be shipped to Liberia. Yes.
Are there other concerns?
Yes, can I make a point, please?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes,
please.
sir.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm really impressed.
Thank you
It
so much.
shows that Africa has the brain to move forward, and we need people like Chronicles, especially partnering with schools. My concern has to do with the English content. You know, like Ghana, Nigeria, or South Africa, they use the British English. And for Liberia, we use American English. So, yeah, so I'm looking at, I mean, if we have the tablet, the content, because there will be words that our children know how to spell differently and words from the British. So would our own content be with the American English? I mean, would that come with that? I just want to know.
Yes, thank you very much for that. It's a very timely question. Like I said in my comment, in my presentation, we will be working with the association to digitize, you know, your own content into the device. So by the time we do that, especially for the English, which of course is a, and again, not just for the English, but for the English, we are quick. If we can get the content in as soon as this week, it will take us another 4 weeks, and we can do a proper digitization of your content, and we preload it into the device. Junior school, senior school, yes. So in 2 months, we're good. But we just need the content to come from your team, and we will provide the necessary digitizations required on the device. So that's going to happen. But if you get it today, it comes with what we have now. Then by the time we fully digitize the content, we'll now put it inside. I just want to be sure
Thank
that
you, Charles. Okay, Charles just asked the question. Charles is the Secretary General of the Proprietary Association. Thank you, Charles, for joining us. I would just like to, as we move towards the end, I would just like to ask if you will definitely have to come to Liberia. What we will do as an association is to begin planning and meeting some of those proprietors. All fingers are not equal in Liberia when it comes to schools. I'm sure you're aware, the same with Nigeria.
Yeah, the same with Nigeria.
We meet some of those proprietors that have bigger schools, not just bigger schools, schools that have kids whose parents can afford, and see how we can get maybe a maximum of 10 of them buying into this idea. My idea about it is to get it into the hands of 12th graders from the beginning, those who are maybe 11th and 12th graders, you know, those who are about to take our exams. at that level, we will get them better
I
prepared.
think, yeah, from 10 graders upwards. Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, senior high, you know,
high, yeah.
And yeah, one of the strategies that I myself thinking on is to call a parent-teacher association meeting, explain that to them for my school, for example, and then see if we can incorporate that into our information sheet. You see, because I see this as a way, if it must penetrate, there must be some force, especially when it comes to individual schools. Nothing good is cheap. We've been playing with education around here, and if we must really penetrate and get our kids stopping as it is in Nigeria and other places I saw, we have to take deliberate decision. So if we have on our information sheet of our information brochure, SuccessTAB, which is, we tell the parents that is a phone. This phone is a phone. It can ring. You can receive calls. So it's a phone. It is a learning device. If we can explain that to them and place that into the information sheet, I'm sure parents will have to go for it, especially for those classes. If we make it mandatory that a 12th grader attending my school must be able to get this SuccessTAB. And one of the ways to sell this message is that you see, our 12th graders, the government of Liberia pay for the WAS exam. They don't pay a dime. You know, unlike other countries that candidates pay for their WAEC. So yeah, our 12th grader is one of the most cheaper class compared to the 11 and other classes. So that amount that those kids are supposed to be paying for WAEC, we could transition that into these kind of innovations that every 12th graders or across or in our schools can have access to this product, so that they can it will even facilitate the extra classes that we have with the teachers and so forth. So this is the way I think we can go about it. I would like you as the CEO to be patient with us. In Liberia, to penetrate the market, it has to be slow. It's a slow kind of thing. If we get 5 schools sending for 100, even 100 of those staff, where once they arrive, we publicize it. We get on the media and talk about the importance. We visit schools and talk about it. I'm sure gradually schools will be able to get into that range. Because say, for example, you said 10 to 15% discount for 1,000 pieces. So if I were to do a 10% discount of 145, Charles, you are a mathematician. Let's do a lower 10% of 145 should be is 145. If you're taking your time, are you a church goer? Charles, are you there? If you got 145 as your salary and you have to take 10% off to pay your time, would that be 45? Oh no, it can be $45. Or a 4.5. Am I right, Charles?
I think 10% is 14.5.
14.5, eh? Okay, good. You are right, 14.5. And so 15% will be around 20. So imagine that you have 1,000 pieces coming and the price reduced from 145 to 125, 120. That is something that is very good for our kids. And I just thought that we all should try to fit in. So we now open up for remarks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Clarence Pachipo from Grand Cape Mount County. And let me actually appreciate the entire team, more especially the head of the Chronicles. One thing is that let's look at the decentralized process. Like you have someone in Cape Mount, someone in Brown County, and how can the process be decentralized? Because mind you now, we should not like focus only in most of the county because it also is essential. Like I look at the entire feature of the entire SuccessTAB is very much essential. So how can this be decentralized as it relates to a coming or the attempt coming to Liberia?
Okay, I think I will have to take that and to just explain to you, Honorable Speaker, Liberia is divided into 15 political subdivisions. So when he talks about counties, he's perhaps talking similarly to maybe states in Nigeria, like Oyo State, Ibadan, and the rest of it. Clarence, what we are trying to do right now first is to see that we get the idea across the proprietary association and the principal association. So obviously the principal association is decentralized. The proprietary association is trying to be decentralized. But once we get SuccessTAB into the hands of schools, maybe for the first launch this coming academic year, which begins after October, November, if we can work our heads out to see that 1,000 pieces of SuccessTAB arrive in Monrovia and into the hands of those kids, and there are testimonies about how it is used. I mean, I don't see why it will not go to Grand Cape Mount when proprietors or a school in Grand Cape Mount. One of the ways this will go will not necessarily be with the bulk school purchase. I do believe that even those private candidates that are listening to this presentation after year will have interest into SuccessTAB. So how do we merge all of their interests, and how do we get SuccessTAB to come to Liberia in that number so that they can get hold of it? So, and that is follow up to your question I want to ask our guest speaker is, how long will it take if someone were to give me $199, assume the person don't want to wait for everybody, say, oh, my kid is going to WIAC. WIAC is in May, as it has been scheduled, April, May, I mean, we are already in April, May and June for the 12th graders. Someone listening to me or listening to this presentation after say, look, I don't want to waste time. Ben, can you get me one SuccessTAB for $199? How does that get to you, and how soon would that be delivered for the person to get hold of it for their kids? Are you there? Mr. Oluwatosin?
Yeah, was that
Yeah.
question for me, right?
Yeah, it was for you.
Okay, so two things come to play. Number one, it's so when you are shipping one tablet, it's no longer $199. In fact, the shipping rate is close to about 40%. We're trying to do one to Ghana, and it was not exciting at all. So that's why we are taking the burden off the school and I mean the individual shipping, to say if we can muster 100 pieces, we can ship at no cost. But if we are shipping one, I mean, it's no longer $199, it's now $199 plus the shipping cost, which might not be too exciting. So, but with 100 minimum quantity of 100 pieces, we can get it directly to Liberia and to Monrovia, to your address, and that can be like the starting devices that can be used to wet the ground. By the time 100 schools or 50 schools buy one each, by December, they'll be ordering in their hundreds. That's exactly what happened in Nigeria. A school will say, okay, let me have one, let me show my parents, let me show my students. The school comes back and orders 500 pieces. Another school orders 700 pieces. Another school orders 200 pieces. But they have to see a device first. They have to engage with it first. So your first 100 pieces will go for interested parents that need it immediately. Then schools that want to have a feel and show their PTA. So I think that after we leave this meeting, and I know that in the next couple, because we are doing a new brand of production, and after Easter, yes, before the new session begins, we should be able to get 100 or 150 pieces across to Liberia, based on the negotiations we have with the association.
Okay, and your idea is brilliant. This means that one school, they can make a requisition to their board to have one of these tablets coming to their school so that they can view and see the essence and the relevance and so forth. So my Secretary General is definitely taking note so that we we will have to do a follow-up letter to schools if we require meetings with them, so that we hit a target of 100 to have it come to Liberia or so. But you did not answer the latter part of my question that said, if a school, say for example, I place that in my information sheet, that 145 for SuccessTAB, and parents doing registration start to pay their money, maybe about September, October, they start to register. How long do I tell the parents who register that your tablet above 100, let's say I hit the target of 100 parents who have paid, how long do I tell them that your kids will receive their tablet?
Okay, so immediately you place an order, it takes 2 weeks for it to be delivered to you in Liberia, 2 weeks. So immediately we receive an order comes with a payment commitment. So with payment commitment, the order is set, then in 2 weeks, that's 10 working days, the tablet is delivered to Monrovia. So what we do is that we use we use what we call express flight cargos. It can get to Monrovia in 3 days, but we just say maximum 10 working days. All we just need to do is bundle it, put it in an airplane going to Liberia, and straight it gets to Liberia in 2-3 working days. But we just say, give or take 10 working days you get after we confirm full commitment for payment. You're muted, you're muted.
And I would like to take remarks, maybe from, first from anyone who participated, closing remarks from anyone who participated, okay. And then we will go to, okay.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, you are on.
Due to our code, due to our code, I want to be able to go firstly for you, at least for bringing such adventure to our country and to the host from Nigeria. I'm glad to see that Africans are now moving in that path for education. No longer the women coming to say, I can do it and we can do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
For this, I want to say thank you that we can work together, and being one of the administrators of one of the schools in Liberia, the Principal Association along with the Private School Association, we are going to work by the grace of God. We are going to work to make sure that this can actually move speedily in our country. This part of the economic situation, but we take education very, very seriously, so that let all people out there know that in West Africa, yes, we are getting to the next level. I would appreciate you that way for such a good adventure to bring to this nation. And to our host again, I want to say thank you. We are going to make sure we work. When you are going to call that away directly and see our best inside the book, I want at least chat so that we can have it introduce it to the PTA, so that at least it can be in line with that of September. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Hello? Hello?
Now, yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Nelson Congo, and I have like a question instead of a comment. I want to know whether it's possible to make SuccessTAB gain a market value in Liberia, that it will be sold instead of being restricted to school, because not everyone, even like if I want to have a SuccessTAB for refresher, I should have it, for reference, I should have it, instead of narrowing it to just school, because when you gain market value, you can walk in any store, any marketplace and access it. Whether it's possible that way.
Brilliant question. So it goes to you.
Okay, so in market entry to countries, it's good, like Dr. Benjamin said, it's good to start small and it's good to now begin to grow. So the first thing first is the school gives us access point to understand the market. So by the time we now understand the market, we now know that, oh, for every year, 5,000 people will buy SuccessTAB, 10,000 people will buy SuccessTAB. then we can now begin to say, okay, how can we have stock options? How can we be able to provide a SuccessTAB in stores so that it's easy for people to pick up? But that will not be the initial entry strategy. So that's exactly what I think we should be looking at. So we'll start with this with schools. They will now begin to go the way we are supposed to go afterwards. That's a very good point, but that will come after as we continue. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so we've been here for a while. I would like Charles. Charles, are you still there? Charles Morsima?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Charles, could you just give a vote of thanks? And then I will go next to the keynote speaker for closing remarks, and I will just sum it up so that we go for our very prayers.
Thank you. So I would like to say a big thank you to Chronicles team for the presentation, and I'm highly impressed. Really, thank you very much.
Okay, that was Charles. I'm muted. Mr. Oluwatosin?
Yes, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to everybody on the call. Thank you for the president and his wonderful team in Liberia. We look forward to working with you to transforming the entire landscape education sector in Liberia. Thank you very much from every member of my team on the call. Solomon Ilori, our head of development. I can see Okpeyemi, also part of my team on the call. Ibilola, also our head of team lead business development. I also can see Glory on the call, all the way from Nigeria. Thank you very much, all the team. Thank you very much, President and the team in Liberia. We look forward to next steps, getting the first batch for the 100 schools, the marketing to the students, and we'll roll out from there. Thank you so much.
I would like to say thank you to all of you also. And I just to inform my members that I'm in touch with Mr. Oluwatosin and Mr. Egunjobi. We are jointly trying to plan a visit of school proprietors and principals to Nigeria. We are planning that for either December or January. That trip is specifically for school principals and proprietors who will sign up for a training opportunity. This time, we are trying to get a consultant who will design a training specifically into areas of school leadership and administration, and some other areas that has to do with counseling, as we might deem necessary with, for the need of school administrators in Liberia. It is an exposure trip. This is what is done across Nigeria and Ghana. We cannot sit in Liberia and assume that we know it all. And no matter how much money you make, you're going to die and leave it right here. So the best thing you need to do is to expose yourself, make your schools to have an edge, go and visit other schools and see how they are doing it, make connections. And so we'll be coming back to you with the details of that trip. I'm just hoping to take 15 to 20 persons for that 2 days training in Nigeria, preferably Lagos or Ibadan. And that process will take a week, and then we come back. So these are things we are working on besides the SuccessTAB. So school administrators that are interested in this will put up stuff. You need to sign up for it, and then we'll start giving you details. Basically, basic details will be your air ticket, which in a group booking is not much expensive, but we'll give you the details, and then we can work it out with our partner there so that we all go and see, while at the same time working this out for the kids. So I'd like to say thank you for this conversation. This is how technology works, see what we have done. We look forward to more interactions like these that will help us to improve our education system. It has been a pleasure. Thank you from my end.
Thank you very much, President and every team. So we're going to close the meeting now. Thank you so much. You can unmute your mic, unmute your video, and just say hello to everybody before you go. Thank you so much from all of us from Nigeria. Let us see your video. Let's see your mic. Thank you so much. Wave a hand to somebody. Say hello to somebody. Thank you in the spirit.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you.
Hello, hello everyone.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having
Hello.
you. Yeah, thank you so much. It was great. Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, I can see Mr. Charles on the call. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. I can see Nelson Govrayon. Thank you very much. Join the call. Yes, I can see Okwayemi on the call. I can see Bilola also on the call. I can see Richardson. I can see Melendi. Wow. Yes. Thank you, everybody, once again. Have a pleasant afternoon. It's already afternoon in Lagos, Nigeria, and I think it's already afternoon as well. So we look forward to connecting with you going forward, and I'll keep in touch with the president.